Update. I'm female 34, losing my family because they think that I hid the fact from them that my ex, now sister's female 28 husband, male 35, is abusive. If you haven't watched the first part of the story yet, click the card above or the link in the description. Hello again, this is an update. I am so sorry that I went silent after posting here, but I actually wrote my post very late at night and fell asleep afterwards. When I logged in the next day, the post was locked and I couldn't answer any of you. I want to thank you for the attention that you've given me because I have been so lonely. I have read all of your comments and I have answered as many DMs that I could. I'm sorry for not being able to answer everyone. I see that cutting all contact with my family is the most common advice that I got, and you are probably right. It is time for me to move on. I never completely and wholeheartedly forgiven my family for accepting my sister's betrayal, but I understood that my parents wanted to be in their grandchildren's lives, and I would never have wanted the children to be deprived of the love of grandparents since they are innocent in all of this. But at the same time, I didn't however like nor accept their forgiveness. I just love my family, and losing my sister was a hard blow. I just didn't want to lose the rest of the family. I kept my distance, however, beside my brother, 30 male. I don't think I mentioned him in my original post. I'm so close to him. Many of you also ask about why my family didn't see the fact that my sister's husband cheated with my own sister as a red flag. This is the first thing I asked my mom, but her answer was very disappointing, so I didn't even think to include it in my original post. She just made it about me needing to get over it and to let go of my grudge. I have felt some type of guilt because I only talked positively about him before I introduced him to my family, about his generosity and kindness. He treated me like a queen, and his family took me in with warmth. He went out of his way to make me happy, and all the dreams we shared about our future together, the places we would visit. And I was so happy when he expressed how he couldn't wait to spend the rest of his life with me. Maybe this is a red flag. I was so happy with him, and that is all my sister heard me talk about since I met him. With all this in mind, I totally understood my sister and her reluctance to believe me. That he showed another side, if not his real side with her. Especially when I know that she is in a very vulnerable place right now. I thought I should be understanding and reach out to her once again. I explained everything that I wrote to my mom in the post here, that probably always been what he was. I got so many stories of girls written to me here about their experience with mistreatment and how and why it started. I sent my sister the screenshots, with the girl's permission. My sister is 7 years younger than him, while I'm only 11 months younger. I didn't live with him. I didn't have any children with him, and I wasn't relying on him to provide for me or my children since I didn't need to stay at home to raise children. All in all, I sent about 30 Instagram DMs explaining it, and after 3 hours, my sister sent me a very short reply. I know that you are sleeping with him, you cheap woman. And she blocked me. I didn't even cry this time. Today, my brother asked me that he wanted to see me. He came to me after work. He said that my sister had sent everything that I have written to her to the rest of the family, and that she was raging mad. My parents are angry with me for distressing her more than she already was. My brother told me to cut my losses and lay low. You can't help her, because she just wants to blame her misery on somebody, he said. From what my brother had gathered from my mom and sister, her husband has been violent with her since she refused to terminate her first pregnancy. So the abuse started just a few months into their relationship. My sister was growing more paranoid with time that her husband would cheat on her with me, and probably others, but that was the reason she always disproportionately hated me. She hated me because she always thought that I would try to get back at her by taking him back because I'm still single and hadn't moved on. It got worse because she always asked him why he was gentler towards me, and he told her that it was because I wasn't a cheap woman like her, which made her believe we still had contact. She also found a secret Instagram account where he followed some girls, me included. It hurt me to hear all of this, but as my brother said, I can't do anything. She refuses to leave him even with my parents' urging and assurance that they could take care of her and her children. I'm heartbroken for her, but I don't think I can do anything. So I'm cutting my family out of my life, and that's my final decision. Edited to Ed. I saw many of you calling me a doormat. I mean, I know you mean well, but how juvenile to use such terms. I'm neither a doormat nor do I lack self-respect. I held my head high when I suffered pain from a betrayal very few of you can relate to. So forgive me when I say I don't respect your childish behavior. Be better. Now for the comments. I'm so sorry you're basically losing your family, but it sounds like you're better off without them. You've gone above and beyond to explain to your sister, educate her, and support her even though she betrayed you so deeply. and she's still blaming you. I think going no contact with her and your ex, and very, very low or no contact with your parents is the best thing for you. I know it hurts, and you didn't want it to be this way, but I think it's best. One thing that's always helped me to realize in situations when it was time to let go, is that I'm suffering for a fantasy. You're holding on because you want this happy, loving, supportive extended family. But you don't have that now. It's a fantasy, and holding on to the harmful family you do have doesn't make that fantasy real. They will never be what you need them to be, and that's not your fault. You're a good daughter and sister, and they don't deserve you. I wish you so much happiness, and I hope it will be much easier to find without these hateful people in your life. I actually have already been in very low contact with my sister. I have only seen her a few times, like my cousin's wedding and family gatherings. Never met her in private. She also eloped, so there was no wedding, and I wasn't gonna attend, and I never went to her baby showers or anything. I have never texted her privately. I only have her on a group's iMessage with mom, dad, and little bro. But now I'm going no contact with mom and dad too. I need a break. Why elope? She was so proud of doing what she did. I think your sister is full of shame and would rather blame you. Your parents are enabling it because the heat can come off the fact that they didn't speak out when it happened. They all deserve to be miserable. I'm sorry you have such an awful family. It seems like no matter what you do, they are going to find a way to blame you, and the double standard is disgusting. You need to get over your grudge because your sister betrayed you in one of the worst way imaginable. But somehow having you do something to her, at least what they believe, and you don't get the same courtesy, is mind-boggling that family can behave like this. I know it must hurt you so much, and you don't deserve any of it, but you're making the right decision cutting them off. I'm glad you have your brother. Opie is the scapegoat, and this is how toxic and abusive families work. There is nothing Opie can do to change it, and her only option is to cut them off, and mourn the loss of the family she deserves and thought she had. I've been there and done that, and seen the destruction this can do both as a child and a young adult. Now for the last story. Girlfriend 23 female of 5 years cheated on me 22 male. I feel betrayed and devastated. Plus updates. She's my first girlfriend and first intimate partner. I'm her first as well. We had a great relationship. We traveled a lot together, had a lot of fun together, and of course we had our downs too, but nothing serious. We always got through it. I felt like our relationship was strong and our mutual trust was incredible. That all changed when I learned that she cheated. For some context, she goes to a local disco every now and then. I never go there with her because I don't like discos. I always trusted her because I knew she would never do anything stupid. She just isn't that kind of girl. At least so I thought. Exactly 1 year ago, she started hanging out with a guy I know there. He's a bit of an a-hole, but I don't really care. They started texting, then started messaging on Snapchat, which I found extremely suspicious. But she just kept saying it was completely innocent and he was just a friend. I kept telling her it's suspicious and he's a prick, but she just kept insisting he's okay and he's just a friend. Then they argued a lot for some reason and stopped talking completely. She told me he said some stupid things and that he's a prick. Wow, no kidding. So I was satisfied and didn't care about it any further. Time forward to yesterday, I randomly remembered this happened and wondered what exactly happened between them. So I just grabbed her phone and checked. We do this normally. We don't hide anything from each other. So it was normal to just grab the other's phone and do whatever. What I saw shook me to my core. I saw a message from her saying something along the lines that they just went somewhere, hid, and banged quickly so no one would see them, and then he didn't want to talk to her anymore. Basically, he just had her for fun. From the context, it was obvious this happened multiple times. I started incredibly shaking, and my heartbeat went up like crazy. I felt sick. I never felt so sick. And I still do. I told her and she cried about it. Said she regretted it incredibly, and that she didn't want to tell me because she was afraid of hurting me and losing me, that she loves me and stuff like that. I do admit that at the time of this incident a year ago, we did have a bit of a bad time in our relationship, but I felt like we got through it. She said that she lacked the desire and wanted to feel what's like to hook up with someone else, since I was her only one. She even told me that at a time she wanted to try it with someone else. I told her that I'm sorry, but I wouldn't accept that, and still she did it. What's funny is that she's quite low libido, and we didn't have nearly as much intimacy as I'd like. For example, we didn't do it for 3 months once, and there definitely was enough of desire, at least from my side. And then she bangs this guy multiple times? Now she texted me how sorry she is and how horrible it feels that she did this, because she said multiple times that she would never cheat and that she doesn't understand how anyone could cheat in a relationship. Well, there you go. She completely betrayed my trust. I feel like she stabbed me in the back. I feel depressed. Horrible. She wants to get back together, and she said that after this she would never ever do it again because it just wasn't worth it. She said she can't be without me and that she really does not want to lose me. And honestly, I don't want to lose her either. We've known each other since we were 7, basically all our lives. We spend almost every day together. We do everything together. We love each other. After 5 years of relationship, I really felt like we were going to spend the future together. We are almost perfect for each other, except for the intimacy part, but I wanted to work on that. I really don't know what to do now. Does she deserve another chance? She does seem to genuinely regret it, but I'm afraid that if she did it once, she might do it again. Plus, our trust will never be the same, of course. Thank you so much if you read all the way here. I am very grateful. I needed to get this off my chest. Now for the top advice before reading the updates. Bro, did you miss the part where he ended it? OP, she would have continued this if he didn't stop it. She was trying to monkey branch, find another partner while still with you, and it failed. She's not sorry for doing it. She's sorry she got caught. You're just a backup plan. She's no longer attracted to you and will actively look for another partner. Don't fall for cost-sunk fallacy. OP, please leave. If she cared about you, she would have never cheated. She is playing. You deserve better. Exactly this. Oh, I wasted 5 years with a cheater, so I'll stay and waste 5 more. The heck is this logic? He broke up with her. She didn't feel bad about anything until she got caught. Break up. Since it seems like you're new to this, I figured I should help you out and point out exactly where things went south. It was right around here. I do admit that at the time of this incident a year ago, we did have a bit of a bad time in our relationship. But I felt like we got through it. She said that she lacked the desire and wanted to feel what's like to hook up with someone else, since I was her only one. She even told me that at a time she wanted to try it with someone else. Any time you're in a monogamous relationship and the other person starts talking about trying stuff with other people, do yourself a favor and bail right there. Sounds like you should have dumped her a year ago. Yes, this was a major red flag. I trusted her. Thank you. Break up. This relationship is dead. You're young. First loves are overrated, and you'll find someone way better. Agree. So OP gonna be a bit of a harsh one here, being raised by a literal habitual cheater. Let's break this down. Your girlfriend who, 1, ignored your feelings of discomfort about her friendship and made you feel stupid and insecure. 2, kept gaslighting you about her so-called friendship. 3, was cheating on you, presumably not the only time she slept with him. 4, was telling you a year ago that she wanted to feel how it felt to fool around. 5, didn't even tell you about it, which someone felt honest and genuine remorse would have, that you needed to go above your own boundaries, and go snooping, which already means y'all had zero trust whatsoever. 6, is now sorry and saying it wasn't worth it. Probably only because the dude dumped her and was no longer interested in banging her. 7, says she doesn't want to lose you, but was perfectly okay with that prospect while hooking up with someone else behind your back, while lying to her face every day. 8, was saying she had a low libido with you, her actual boyfriend, while it didn't apply with this dude. 9, says she won't do it again, when she already lied about doing it the first time, and didn't flinch and was so deceptive you actually thought you had mutual trust. She hid it that well. 10, she didn't even break it off. He did. And you want to give her a second chance? Because why? She's your first girlfriend? What does that have to do with her being a cheater? Or a bad girlfriend? Or a liar? Or a manipulator? P.S. You aren't perfect for each other. Unless you count someone gaslighting and cheating on you a perfect personality trait. If that's perfect, then I'm married wrong then. Sure, she's all tears now, because she's lost her F-buddy and got caught out by you. What did you expect her to do? She's gonna say anything to keep you in her pocket. And you want to stay? Do you want to be a doormat? Do you have like zero self-respect? What exactly do you want to salvage here? Been together for 5 years, known her since you were 7. Facts. Did those facts mean anything to her when she was cheating on you? No. So, why are you trying to use them as an excuse to stay with someone who has no respect for you? My advice is leave. Unless you get off on being used, then by all means stay. But I'd also advise getting an STD test. and not be intimate with her. She might just come tell you she's pregnant by you. Thank you. This is what I need. A kick in the butt. Now for the updates. Thank you everyone for your messages. I really needed this. You are all great, honestly. I'll talk about it with her and tell her in depth how I feel and why I want to break up. I'll keep you all updated. Once again, thank you so much. Update 2. I texted her, since I left her home immediately and told her that I will not get back with her ever, that she betrayed me, and I even explained everything, my feelings, thoughts, etc. She takes full responsibility and blame for everything. She acknowledged her mistakes and said she genuinely feels sick of herself, and that she will never forget this, never forgive herself, and that with me, a piece of herself will be missing. She said she would take it all back if she could. She confessed to sleeping with said douchebag 3 times. After that, it ended. I asked if she would have continued had he not ended it, and she said she doesn't know. In my mind, that is an obvious yes. That one hurt. Her only wish is for us not to be cut off completely. Not stay together, just not be cut off completely. I really don't know about that. I must confess that I do feel sorry for her. Yes, I know, I'm weak. I'm a weakling. I told her I'm not sure if I want to keep her in my life at all. She said she will respect my decision and will understand. I am at peace with the fact we broke up and will never be together. I must once again thank you all amazing people for your opinions and your help. You were most helpful and seriously helped me get it done. I still have to think about the cutting off thing. Am I the a-hole for ruining my brother's proposal and refusing to clear his name until he gives me half the money for my wedding? I, 35 male, admit to being a spiteful person when pushed, but I want to know if I'm truly the a-hole when I gave multiple and explicit warnings as to deter my vengeance. I have a younger brother, Todd, 29 male, who had a complicated birth and had to stay a month in the ICU. And because of that, my parents have always doted on him and almost denied him nothing, even if it was to the detriment of my sister Abby, 32 female, and I. My brother drinks in on the attention and has on more than one occasion made himself the center of attention at either my sister's, or a cousin's special event. Because of this, Abby and I have a strained relationship with Todd and our parents. Unfortunately, Todd met and fell in love with Lucy, 24 female, who announced her own pregnancy at the baby shower my mom held for Abby. When I proposed to my wife Michelle, 30 female, I just wanted to elope. But she really wanted her family to be there, so I invited my family out of obligation. While out, my best man, Jim, 35 male, noticed a receipt from a jewelry store slipped out of Todd's pocket. Jim confronted Todd about this, which led to an argument. Jim told me everything, and I told Todd that he was no longer going to be a groomsman because I knew he was going to propose at my wedding. Todd cried to our parents, which led to a blowout. In my parents' eyes, since Todd never admitted that he was going to propose to Lucy at my wedding, I was unfairly judging him. I refused and brought up Todd's past behavior. My parents couldn't refute this and got Todd to agree to not try anything at my wedding. This wasn't enough to convince me to let him be a groomsman, but I warned him that if, as a guest, he'd try anything, I would make him regret it. Fast forward to the wedding, and surprise, surprise, Todd walked over to Lucy and proposed to her during Michelle's father-daughter dance, and did it in a way so that everyone would notice. Cue my revenge. Jim and I had hired a woman to pretend to be Todd's side piece who cornered Todd and Lucy, and claimed that she was pregnant with his baby. Todd denied this, but when she called his phone, as I gave his number and messed with Todd's phone to incriminate him, it didn't look good. Lucy threw the ring back at Todd and left in tears. When Todd saw the smile on my face, he knew that it was me, and I didn't respond to a single call/text from him or my parents until after the honeymoon. Lucy has thrown Todd's stuff out and has been denying access to their kid. Todd is furious and is demanding that I clear his name. I sent him a text saying that I had no idea what he was talking about, as well as a screenshot of a bill for the wedding, and gave a vague message demanding reimbursement for half of the wedding costs. Michelle knew the whole time what I was planning and gave me the green light after Todd ruined her moment with her dad, so I felt pretty good. But now even Abby thinks I went too far. Am I the a-hole? Edited to add because I keep seeing this and/or people were asking questions. 1. I warned Todd multiple times that if he proposed at my wedding, I would make him regret it. 2. In this scenario, Abby is my sister and Lucy is Todd's girlfriend. 3. During the father-daughter dance, there was a spotlight on Michelle and her dad with a camera on them that was recording live on a large screen for everyone to see. Todd pulled Lucy out and knelt down right in the eye line of the camera, and that's how everyone saw. 4. In specific situations, I can see an argument of Lucy being innocent, but she's not innocent overall. As stated previously, Lucy announced her own pregnancy at Abby's baby shower, so she likes to steal the attention too. Now for the comments. You're the a-hole and Todd is also an a-hole. Lucy and their kid are innocent. This is a cruel revenge. You could have done something that only hurts Todd. I agree with Abby that you went too far. What if Lucy was crazy and unalive Todd and herself and her baby? This stuff happens on the news very often. I'll give you their child, but Lucy is just as much an attention hog as Todd. She made Abby's baby shower all about her when she announced her own pregnancy. You could have done something less harmful but have the same effect on him, like hiring a bunch of granny strippers to show up at their wedding or something like that. I seriously doubt that would have the same effect as what I did. Everyone sucks here. I really wanted to say not the a-hole, but this is a bit much, only because there's a kid involved, and your brother isn't able to see it. It seems inevitable that at some point, you're going to have to come clean to help repair that relationship, and then Todd is going to seem like a total victim. And he and Lucy will be vindicated to keep acting entitled, which really sucks. I wonder if they're adult enough to sit down and have a proper discussion where everyone can apologize. Our parents have spent too many years making excuses for Todd for him to ever give a genuine apology. Next story. Am I the a-hole for saying no to be a bridesmaid to my childhood best friend for being engaged to my ex? So Jane, 29 female, and I, 29 female, have known each other since we were in middle and high school together. She went to college in California while I went to college in Georgia. During college, Jane and I visited each other. She's younger than me, so I flew to LA for her 21st birthday and we always met up when we were home, etc. My junior year, I met Kyle, senior at the time. After he graduated, he moved to New York City for a job. While I was not intending on staying on the East Coast, I ended up also moving to New York City, partially to be with him. Then Kyle decided he wants a change of pace and wants to move to LA. We talked a lot about it. I asked if he could wait 6 months and move together since I just got promoted. He found a job and he moved to LA in May of that year instead of waiting. It's worth noting that Jane had moved to LA January of that year. I'm not sure at what point Jane and Kyle got together. They were already familiar with each other because of all the times Jane had visited and the times when I brought Kyle home. Kyle and I started fighting a lot more. I was stressed and frustrated. And that August, we broke up. Kyle and I kept talking and he decided he didn't like LA and was going to move back to New York City. Then COVID hits, and I find out that they may be together through friends. I asked Jane about it, and she said they were just hanging out a lot because he was still new and didn't have a lot of friends. Jane was constantly posting stories on Instagram and they looked too close to be just friends. So I didn't believe her. She kept saying they're just friends, and I unfollowed both of them on Instagram and neither of them said anything. Jane and I haven't really talked since everything happened. And now they're engaged. Jane asked me to be a bridesmaid and I said no. I felt it would be a little uncomfortable for me. I felt Kyle had been stringing me along while he was in LA and I feel awkward that they weren't honest about it from the beginning. But Jane is saying I can bring my current boyfriend as my +1 and Kyle agreed with her. Now she and my sister both think I'm overreacting and should just say yes. So am I the a-hole for saying no? Not the a-hole. It really sounds like he may have cheated on you with your best friend. At the very least, they got together soon after you two broke up. They kept the relationship from you and lied about it. This isn't an episode of Friends where everything can be hunky-dory. I don't know too many people that would be comfortable in this situation outside of a sitcom or rom-com movie. Yep, they want Opie there so they can pretend they did nothing wrong to everyone else. Not the a-hole. I think you are very correct. And her having to explain why you weren't there might make them uncomfortable, even for a little bit. Not the a-hole. Not only is it weird they both want you there after all that's happened, but to be a bridesmaid on top of it as well? If she is a bridesmaid, it means she's validated their relationship and forgiven them. They may not be fully conscious of it, but it might be a part of their reasoning. Some no harm, no foul mental gymnastics. Yep, it's all about the optics. They will likely pressure Opie more because she's saying no, and if she isn't there, they can't pretend she's okay with it. Next story. Am I the a-hole for uninviting my dad to my wedding because he took back the money he promised? I want to be clear that this is not about money. I know no one owes us money, but he promised and it is about his reasoning. My fiancé and I are currently planning a wedding, and my mom got herself uninvited as we found out she had made some jokes behind our back about my fiancé's appearance/style, and saying she was never going to be anything more than a stay-at-home mom. I was furious and uninvited her. A couple of people told me I was being an a-hole as it was a one-time thing. She said not thinking it would get back to us. Also, she was tipsy, maybe a bit drunk. My dad, they aren't married, recently found out she wasn't going to be there and confronted me. He said what she said wasn't nice, but realistically, people talk crap and gossip, and I should give her the chance to apologize and move on. I explained that I can't let someone who feels that way come to our wedding, and he said I was being ridiculous. He said he was no longer going to pay for our wedding if I was going to treat my mom like that. I decided to uninvite him too, as I feel he's no longer a supportive person. My fiancé was privy to this conversation and is obviously hurt. She doesn't want him there either, so I feel the need to support her. But now my dad and his wife are telling everyone how we feel entitled to their money and how arrogant we are for uninviting everyone who disagrees with us. I feel slightly weird about it because obviously he doesn't have to pay for our wedding. Now for the top comments. I do think yours is a bit of an extreme reaction and definitely about the money. But I also have to wonder if your mom hasn't tried to apologize in between her crap talking and you finding that out. Part of me believes that if she really wanted to make it up and actually felt guilty, she would have already done that. So everyone sucks here, I guess. She apologized, but it was a crappy apology. She was like, I shouldn't have said that, so sorry. But don't be a baby because we all know she makes fun of me as well. Does she? Yes, to be honest. But at least she has the sense not to do it in a crowd where it is going to get back to my mom. Newsflash, if your mom knows, it's getting back to her. You're the a-hole for taking such extreme action every time a guest does anything remotely wrong surrounding your wedding. Yes, it's your wedding and you can invite and disinvite whoever you want. And yes, standing up for your fiancé is the right thing to do. However, at least from the way you wrote this, it seems you don't have any kind of conversations with people before deciding they're out. And not just any person, but your mother and father. You're like the soup Nazi from Seinfeld. You just stand there and go, no more wedding for you. Next. It's quite immature. Your mother shouldn't have spoken ill about your fiancé. But is she willing to apologize? Is she remorseful? Edit, mother-in-law did apologize. Unless she has a history of being mean to you/your fiancé, I think making her miss her child's wedding for a one-off comment is extreme. Edit. It turns out it's the other way around, and the fiancé has a history of talking crap about mother-in-law behind her back. LMAO. Your father shouldn't have held money over your head. But the funny thing is that he is doing for your mother the same thing you're doing for your fiancé, even though they aren't married. He is reacting extremely to you wronging her and going nuclear with no more wedding money for you. You and your fiancé sound very immature. And while standing up for her is right, you have to be careful to analyze if this isn't her subtly isolating you from your family. Edit, I'm now more sure than ever that fiancé is using this wedding for a power move at isolating OP from his parents. Last story. Am I the a-hole for calling my fiancé a trigger-happy loon and threatening to cancel our wedding? Me, 27 male, and my fiancé Lizzie, 27 female, are finally getting to planning our wedding after putting it off for an entire year. And I'm not kidding when I say this. It has been a nightmare. Lizzie has gone full-on bridezilla. I get that wedding planning is hard as I'm literally doing it, but she has legitimately gone off the freaking rails. She's been snapping at family members, threatening to uninvite them at every turn. The other day, my parents called me and told me that Lizzie had uninvited them from the wedding. And of course, I was freaking angry. She didn't even have the gall to tell me herself. Was she just thinking I wouldn't find out? Oh, and you want to know why she uninvited them? They didn't like the flowers she picked. And I say she picked, because she didn't tell me about that either. I confronted her yesterday asking her why she tried to uninvite my parents, and we got into a huge argument over it, with her yelling at me asking why I was still supporting my parents after they showed such disrespect towards her. I asked her why the hell she has been making all of these decisions without even consulting me first, and she said that it was her wedding, so she should be able to make all the decisions. We have never had a fight like this before. I was at my wit's end, especially after she called me a controlling piece of crap. So I snapped and called her a trigger-happy loon. And if she wanted a wedding all about her, she could marry herself, because I was so freaking done. She stormed out of the house, insulting me with every step. She got in the car and drove to her parents' house, and she's been there since the fight. I called my sister sobbing and told her what had happened. She agrees that Lizzie was way out of line, but that we should try reconciling. Lizzie refuses to speak to me until she gets an apology. But I don't think I'm in the wrong. It's my wedding too. But she acts like I'm just a decorative piece of her special day. But I'm really starting to feel horrible. Am I the a-hole? Not the a-hole. I know your running joke on Reddit is instantly giving the advice you should break up. But if this were me, I'd be thankful this side of her was exposed before we said I do. And I'd run very far away from this pile of red flags in the shape of a human woman. Exactly. Not the a-hole. You should thank the heavens you got to see the side of her before the wedding. Trust me, it'll only get worse. Think about major life events and how she'll act if she's acting like this during your wedding. She is a nightmare and will continue to be a nightmare. Think about how you want the rest of your life to play out and make the best decision for yourself. You've received a blessing in the shape of a bridezilla. This, buddy, in real life, every bride I've ever known who has gone bridezilla has made the entire marriage about them. Their wants, their desires, their dreams. You'll be but a player in her narcissistic bubble. A wedding is about both of you and should reflect both of you. People shouldn't be uninvited unless it's for some pretty significant reasons like abuse, not just because they have a difference of opinion from the bride. She disrespected you and your entire family by uninviting your parents. Over flowers. Over flowers you didn't get to have an opinion on. Trust me when I say that she is showing who she truly is. She has a lot of growing up to do and needs to learn that the world doesn't revolve around her before a wedding should even be discussed. Honestly, put the brakes on the wedding. Postpone it while you figure out what you want, and insist on real couples counseling from a real marriage and family therapist before setting a new date, to ensure the big glaring issues are resolved before committing one more date to someone dropping with selfishness. I fully agree. We internet strangers cannot tell you, OP, if your relationship is worth saving. But for sure you need to put the wedding planning on pause until things cool down. The question is, why is your fiancé behaving this way? Blaming the bridezilla is easy, but it'd be useful for you to understand where her behavior comes from. Is she afraid? And being 100% in control is the coping strategy she opted for. Does she feel social pressure to have the perfect wedding and she's actually overwhelmed? Or is she simply a witch and you now only found out? Only you can tell, OP. Not the a-hole. Run. I asked her why the hell she has been making all of these decisions without even consulting me first. She said that it was her wedding, so she should be able to make all the decisions. Run far, far away. Stop threatening to cancel the wedding, and just cancel it. Save yourself the divorce, and ramification of potentially having children with this person. Lol, if it's her wedding and only hers, who is she marrying?